All right, Mark Bucinich for City Limits, and today we are speaking with Tim Sylvester. He is running on a union slate called Teamsters United, running for the presidency of the 1.4 million International Brotherhood of Teamsters membership. Tim, welcome. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Just let me correct you there. The current administration claims there's 1.4 million Teamsters. I don't believe there are. I think it's 1.2 and some change.
Oh, because it says it on their website, 1.4 million.
But it doesn't say it on their financial reports and on their LM2s.
Oh, really? Because I did see in a labor notes story, it did say 1.2 million, so I did notice that discrepancy.
Okay.
So, Tim, what compelled you to run? I mean, what is it about the current Teamsters administration that compelled you to say this union needs new leadership?
Well, I've been a Teamster since 1979. I like to say it's my 5th decade as a Teamster, and I've seen some lows and some highs, and over the past 15 to 20 years I've seen us splinter into factions. You were a Hoffa guy, you were a Carey guy, you were a Leadham guy, you were a Sandy Pope, you were a Gerger guy, you were TDU, you were factionized out there, and I think it's time we got past that. It's time we formed a coalition of Teamsters who wanted to work together to fight the corporations, fight the companies, fight concessions, fight pension givebacks, work together as Teamsters. And that was what made me decide to run.
If you're elected, if you win, what's like the broader message to the American public, right? Including consumers, taxpayers, most of whom have never been in a union before. Do they also benefit from union wages and union benefits? What's going to be your bigger message?
Absolutely. Absolutely they benefit. The whole country benefits. My bigger message to the whole country is union people aren't bad people. They're hardworking people. You know, the image of the average union person, if you watch a TV show, it's the guy sitting around drinking coffee in a hard hat while traffic is backed up for 20 miles and they're doing nothing. Oh, if I'm in a union, I can't be fired. That's not who we are. We're the people that deliver your packages. We're the people that work at your groceries. We're the solid waste people who take your garbage out. We're the Americans. We're the taxpayers. We're the people that make this country run. And we don't get the recognition we should. I was in Madison, Wisconsin, protesting Scott Walker out there. And I found it kind of ironic. Let's, for example, say the teachers. People would say, oh, these teachers, they're ruining the economy. They get a pension, they get health care, they get benefits. Why should they get that? I don't get that. Now, in the past, people would look and say, wow, they got all those things. I want it too. I want to grow to that. Well, the whole mindset seems to be, oh, I don't have it, they shouldn't have it. That's got to change.
You know, that's a great point, Tim, right? Because like I think about where I grew up. I grew up in northern New Jersey, working class area, just north of Hoboken, a town called North Bergen, and a lot of people I'm still friends with from there, right? On my Facebook page, on my Facebook feed, they're like putting up statements that say the unions are the reason why we're having all these problems in the economy. I mean, and they come from a working class town, northern New Jersey, right? Modest means, but yet they think, because they've been won over, obviously, by the messaging from the right, that unions are not in their interest. So, like, how do you counter that kind of messaging now?
Well, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's been done over a long period of time, and I firmly believe, and I encourage my members, very simple: run for school board, get involved in your school districts, have the history of labor taught to our children. It's not even spoken about. It's not taught. You know. What the labor unions have done for this country has been swept aside. I mean, we brought them the weekend. We eliminated child labor. We brought them health care. We brought them pensions. We brought them working rights on a job. And these are fundamental things that every worker should have. And, you know, not to be too simplistic, but we need to re-educate this country as to what workers do, what union people do. I mean, I could envision 15-second commercials. Did you enjoy your weekend? Thank a union member. Did you enjoy overtime? Thank a union member. Just put it out there. Let people know who we are. You know, Ron Carey, in one of his last speech, he said, I was proud to be the president of the Teamsters. And he stopped and he paused. He said, they're good people. And we are good people.
Just to follow up, Tim, like when you, as you just said, unions have done all these things like ending child labor, but just to use that as like an example to play a little bit of devil's advocate, I mean, child labor, is not an issue as it has been in this country at least for 100 years. So, like, do you still think that kind of messaging is going to resonate with a lot of people, though?
Well, I think it's the basis. I think it's the basis of what we've accomplished. I mean, we created the middle class. We created jobs where people could buy a house and raise their family. I mean, I never finished college, but I got a job at UPS, and I was able to raise 4 kids, put them to college, buy a house, and I did it off the sweat of my brow. It was hard work, but union people aren't afraid of hard work.
Tim, what do you say to ordinary Americans, right, who might say, one of the reasons why corporate America has gotten like really stronger while unions have decreased in strength is because there are examples, or history shows that sometimes there's like infighting within a union, especially big unions. The Teamsters is obviously one of these big unions, when there's like different slates competing against one another because they have different visions of how to run that union. And people might say, well, you see, this is the reason why unions are weaker, because the unions are too busy fighting amongst themselves within their own leadership about what their vision of a union is. I mean, what do you say to that argument?
I'd have to say it's true. Yeah, they do fight. That's something else I believe in. I believe it's time for labor, just as in the Teamsters Union, it's time to stop fighting each other and take on a corporation, take on a company. Organized labor needs to do the same thing. We need to get back together. I believe we need to get back in the AFL-CIO. I think we need to get back to a goal. I think we need to realize we're all being attacked by the same people, and to sit down and mend their fences and go forward.
Tim, my last question, right? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, right, affiliated with the Department of Labor, private sector unionization now is like less than 7%. I think they put out a statement earlier this year, it's like 6.6%. So how can you, if you were to win in your position as president of the Teamsters, can any one president, even if you're the leader of a membership that has 1.2 or 1.4 million members, how can you reverse that trend? Can any one union president do that?
You have to start. I don't know if one can do it, or I don't know if it's going to take a bunch to do it, but we have to take it on. We can't just keep fooling ourselves, that things are going to get better. I have a saying that I use with my membership all the time. I say, you may not like what I tell you, but what I tell you is the truth. I'll never pat you on the back and tell you everything's fine if it's not. And we have to get away from doing that. So I think there are some unions that do that. And we have to, I'm a firm believer in rank and file, member-to-member organization. I don't have all the answers. I have my theories, and I will try my theories. And if they don't work, I'll turn back to my membership and I say, listen, we tried this. It didn't work. Who has an idea here? Because anybody that tells you they have all the answers, run out of the room, because they don't. But we have valuable assets out there. We have our members. When I negotiated my last supplemental contract with UPS here, I went to my members. I surveyed the members. I got back 3,000 surveys. They directed me to what they needed in this contract. And I went a step further. I took rank and file members into my committee. They negotiated the contract with me. I haven't driven a package car since 1996. I'm not qualified to negotiate language on a package car. I mean, I am, but the nuts and bolts of it, I could turn right to a member who's a package car driver and say, well, what do you think of that proposal? And I'd get a response, and we'd counter the company. I just believe the members are our most valuable asset, and they're underused.
Tim, we'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.